Good evening and welcome to this Friday evening's edition of Primetime News. I'm Selima Shimwe-Feleni. Leading the bulletin tonight, the Electoral Commission of Namibia, returning officer of Quest Local Authority, David Boyce, said voter turnout for the rerun elections process for the Quest elections on Friday was satisfactory. Quest has 2 fixed polling stations. Speaking to the Namibia press agency Suzette Chitaura this morning, Boyce said that no challenges were experienced during the election process. He added that the turnout of voters was satisfactory at both polling stations. Returning officer for Marintau Rural Constituency, Martha Shilimela, also shared the same sentiments as Boyce. The parties contesting in the Quest elections are SWAPO, Landless People's Movement, Independent Patriots for Change, and Popular Democratic Movement. Quest registered 1,200 eligible voters. The parties contesting in the Marintau Rural Constituency are SWAPO, Landless People's Movement, Popular Democratic Movement, and an independent candidate. The polling stations close at 2100 hours. President Hage Geingob on Wednesday addressed issues surrounding the liquidation of Air Namibia, saying the decision was taken collectively by Cabinet. He said the liquidation of the national airline has been long coming as government cannot afford to bail it out anymore.
Firstly, no minister must try to be a champion in things done collectively. This decision was taken by the Cabinet, not by ministers. And this thing of Air Namibia has been going on for many years. And in my State of the Nation address, I mentioned liquidation myself for the first time. When the President says a thing, technical people come in to work on it. Ministers are technical people. The Minister of Enterprises, it's his duty to work on it, not that he's a champion of it. So therefore, this was decided by Cabinet, not by individuals, by Cabinet, after a long debate and consultation. And then the committees were discussing it, which are chaired by Minister of Finance and others who are dealing with the social, economic sectors of the government. That's where they were discussing it, because to look at the technicalities. But Cabinet took a decision. When Cabinet took a decision, then you have to go and look at the technicalities. It is sent to the committees. And hence, these people are supposed to consult at committee level all stakeholders. That's where the problem started. So yesterday, Cabinet again reaffirmed the strong words. If we all could have come in when we were complaining about bailing out Air Namibia, it could have helped us. Now, even those who are saying Air Namibia must be liquidated are now turning around to say, don't liquidate. We have proofs to show that people who are saying Air Namibia must be liquidated. It's a waste of money. Now that we are liquidating, they are now saying it is not good. What is wrong? We want to be just negative for the sake of being negative? Air Namibia is a problem to all of us. We laugh it. I am the one who was among those who was very proud to see that flag when you are landing at international airports. But reality is a reality. We have financial crisis. It's not only about the Air Namibia, we have financial crisis. We have to look where we can cut. And if there's a wasteful thing like Air Namibia has been doing, we must address that. It doesn't mean that in the future, maybe we're not going to have a new, leaner airline, well managed and so on. But at the moment, it is difficult to bail out Air Namibia, period.
Khomas Regional Council, along with the Ministry of Education, Arts and Culture, on Thursday handed over new infrastructure to 3 different schools in Windhoek. The new infrastructure included 20 classrooms, 2 2 storerooms, and 2 ablution facilities that were constructed by August 26 construction at a combined value of 6.3 million Namibian dollars. 12 classrooms and 2 ablution blocks were constructed at Westmont High School within a period of 4 months at a cost of 3.9 million Namibian dollars, while the 4 classrooms at Ochomwise and Rocky Crest were completed over a period of 2 months at a cost of 1.2 million Namibian dollars for each school.
Speaking at the handover ceremony, Education Minister Anangi Pondoka stated that the infrastructure is part of the COVID-19 Infrastructure Development Program being implemented in all 14 regions. She said the program is aimed at addressing shortages of water and ablution facilities, including rehabilitation of dysfunctional and not in use toilet blocks. The minister also announced that the Commerce region will be receiving a total of Namibian dollars 41.7 million through the program, which has been earmarked to cover construction of ablution facilities at selected schools and renovation of hostels, including the rehabilitation, repair and maintenance of water and sewer supply systems and toilet facilities, construction of hostel facilities to accommodate needy learners in the Windhoek rural constituency, as well as the drilling of a borehole for water provision at Blowcrans Primary School and construction of classrooms at few selected schools with tended classrooms.
Few schools where children receive education in potentially health compromising conditions. Schools where these classrooms have been constructed and are still being constructed are those which have been conducting classrooms in tents. In essence, these learners have been exposed to adverse weather conditions and could therefore make them vulnerable to COVID-19 and many other related diseases.
On her part, Coma's Governor Laura McLeod-Kashira noted that there is a huge challenge in closing the gap in the shortage of classrooms, construction of new schools, renovation and repair of dilapidating infrastructure to enable safe, healthy and stimulating learning environments.
Taking cognizance of the consistent pressure of the yearly school enrollment, lack of school classrooms, that now we are operating in school tents, and the current learning and teaching environment, we must know that this infrastructural improvement is not only for mitigating the pandemic, but to ensure a deserving and entitled learning and teaching environment for the Namibian child as a constitutional right and a national priority. We have a great challenge to close the gap of the shortage of classroom of our current schools, the construction of new schools, the renovation and repair of aging and dilapidating infrastructures to give the Namibian child a safe, healthy and a stimulating learning environment.
The Ministry of Environment and Tourism offices in Rundu closed after an employee tested positive for COVID-19 last week. The ministry's senior public relations officer, Romeo Muyunda, confirmed this on Tuesday, saying the employee is now in a quarantine facility in town. He added that the ministry is in the process to get the office disinfected. When the office will resume depends on how fast they get someone to do it, he noted. We'll be back shortly after the news roundup. Welcome back. President Hage Geingob said Namibia is still a poor country and it ought to be recognized as such. Namibia was classified as an upper middle income state from its status of a middle income country by the World Bank, and the classification, according to Geingob, will affect the support the country will receive, especially during the coronavirus crisis.
My position that the World Bank and others decided, and that's their formula, it's allowed, that you take the GDP of the country, divide the population into that, then you get per capita income. Now Namibia's population being small, you take the GDP of the country, you divide that small population into that GDP, and we are having a high per capita income. We are a rich country in that case. And my argument was, we come from an apartheid background. Country was divided. So you cannot just say you are rich as if the distribution is equal. They said, yeah, that's your problem. Country is rich, but distribution is your problem. I said, okay, if you say that, didn't you get angry with President Mugabe when he grabbed the land? You want us to go and do the same? They said, no, peacefully and so on. So that's a battle I've been waging since independence, 1990. But today it is getting traction. Many countries are now agreeing it's true. So that it is we are about to score. Honestly, even when people are trying to give these vaccines, they will first look at your GDP, per capita income. And they say, you are rich, buy. Even those who are trying to give us are saying, we give you so much, rest you must buy. Because you are a rich country. That's not fair. It affects us, even in this particular instance. It's a thing where you don't get any aid from anybody or soft loans and so on. So even in the crisis, if you are rich, you must buy. We are not rich. Maybe and even individuals in this country, white or black, you don't have a rich person, a US dollar billionaire. So country, average-wise, is a poor country. And we ought to be recognized as such. Yes, we are driving luxurious cars and so on, Germans live here and so on. But if you look at the income, per capita income, it looks high. Distribution of the rest of people, no. That's a problem. It's difficult to convince the people who are mathematical. They say, you are rich, GDP is this, per capita income is this, it's high.
We will return after the economics roundup. And in sports news tonight, Liverpool captain Jordan Henderson will be sidelined for at least 5 weeks after undergoing groin surgery, the Premier League champions said on Friday. The 30-year-old England international sustained the injury during Saturday's 2-0 home defeat by Everton. Henderson will miss Premier League games against Sheffield United, Chelsea, Fulham and Wolverhampton Wanderers, as well as the Champions League last 16 second leg against Leipzig. We will return after the sports roundup. That's all the news we had for you tonight. Many thanks for tuning in. If you're new to our channel, please subscribe, like, share, and click on the notifications bell to stay up to date with the latest happenings locally and globally. From myself, Salima Shimwefeleni, and the entire Nampa crew, it's good night.